Hey, it's Hunter. I wanted to come here and share some of the ways that I've been moving forward a little bit since my last two videos last week have just been me spiraling, which I needed to do with my community. But the muscle memory of resisting Trump 1.0 is coming back to me as we face this fresh hell of Trump 2.0. I'm accepting the reality of where we are, and that's helped me go and start to look for the helpers. We are not in the majority, but we are not powerless either, and our rights haven't been completely stripped away just yet. So I wanted to share some of the helpers that I've found that are guiding me out of this darkness and into action. These are the places I'm finding guidance. First of all, Heather Cox Richardson is a history professor at Boston College, and her Substack, Letters from an American, has been helping me keep track of all the news. It comes out once a day, very focused. So yesterday, when credibly accused sex trafficker and offender Matt Gaetz was announced as Trump's nominee for Attorney General, I knew I had to turn off the pop-up notifications on my phone from all the news outlets. First of all, these kind of moves by Trump are designed to outrage us and wear us out. I mean, even Republican senators were dumbstruck by Matt Gaetz being nominated for Attorney General. And I know I need to actually keep working and functioning through the day, so I can't get sucked into these rage spirals every day, because that's what they want on the right. And they got it from me a lot during Trump 1.0. So I've found it really good to limit where I'm getting my news and when I'm getting my news. Heather Cox Richardson's Substack is a focused digest of what's happening that helps make sense of the news from a historical context and also clues you in on the nuances of the story. For example, because of Heather's email, I understand why MAG is pissed that Senator Thune was voted Senate Majority Leader by secret ballot. Let the infighting begin, y'all. So Heather really cites her sources and is a big advocate for living in reality, and you can go check her out also as a guest on Stacey Abrams' new podcast, Assembly Required. As always, Stacey Abrams, y'all, be sure and subscribe to Stacey's Assembly Required podcast, because she literally wrote the books on fighting voter suppression and organizing. Last night I went to a meeting with Indivisible.org. That is Indivisible.org. I'm going to be reading their guide for 2025, and they're baking in all the plans that have been announced from the right, which are horrific. But this is the guidebook on how to find and or create community to organize wherever you are. I've already received some action items from my local Indivisible chapter. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble saying Indivisible chapter this morning. Seriously, go up. Sign up at indivisible.org for the playbook on how we're going to gum up the works and do our part to slow down and block the implementation of Trump's Project 2025 agenda every chance we get. Another podcast recommendation for you, and this is not because I was on this season premiere, but my friend Robin Merrill, another law professor, has a podcast called The Future is Queer, and it's an invaluable guide for how LGBTQ plus folks can stay in the conversation, fight back, and most importantly, not give up any ground. We have rights, and we need to know what they are and how to use them. In all of this, I want to go back to, like earlier I was saying, limit your news intake. So it's like you're like watching the evening news or reading the paper. Another old school place that was really going to help you stay informed and get yourself some useful knowledge is your local library. It's a great source for reading materials to help you understand these times and the history of how we got here. Of course, Timothy Snyder's book on tyranny is one you must read, but I've used my library this week to download and listen to the audiobook from former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Her book, Fascism, A Warning, taught me so much, reminded me of so much that I had forgotten about how we've seen all these plays before. There's really nothing here that is new. So audiobooks and digital books are available for you to get from your local library right now. I know my library has an app called Libby that I use to download ebooks and audiobooks all the time. You're already paying for this with your tax dollars, so use it. Lastly, the Human Rights Campaign, HRC, had a call last night that got me fired up to keep working. They have information on how to get involved with LGBTQ plus advocacy work wherever you live. And it was so great to be on a call with these people who were touting our wins. We have trans and LGBTQ people across the country who won at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level, that are actually in office. And I want to say something straight to my LGBTQ plus community, and also for anybody who would ask me about queer issues. So I got a message from someone that I've known for a long time, and they asked me if I was a, quote, normal gay guy like J.D. Vance had talked about, and not one of those gays or queers who wanted to, quote, chemically castrate 5-year-olds, that infuriated me. He talked about the left chemically castrating 5-year-olds as if that was an established fact, and it is absolutely not. It's not happening. So I just see this as a way to try to divide gay and lesbian people from trans, non-binary, basically trying to divide up the LGBTQ plus rainbow alphabet. And this is deadly for all of us. First of all, none of these surgeries on kids are happening. They never happened. They're about as valid as the challenges to votes in Pennsylvania that were suddenly withdrawn when the election went Trump's way. They're just lies made up. So I want to say that I stand with my trans family, and that trans women like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera were the leaders of queer liberation movement that happened in 1969 around the Stonewall Inn in New York City. They've been there ever since. They are the leaders. And I also want to say, if you are maybe, for example, a white gay man like me, and you think that you can save yourself by disavowing the trans community, let me tell you something. That's not how it works, okay? Today they're coming for the trans people, but they're also calling us groomers and pedophiles every chance they get, while sex trafficker and offender Matt Gaetz is being nominated for Attorney General. So let me say this. If you say, look at the women's reproductive health issue, okay, Roe versus Wade is overturned. You think, oh, great. Now they're happy. They get what they wanted. They can stop. No, you see them then go towards IVF and embryos as human beings and having the rights. I mean, it's a progression. So I now is not the time to be naive. So I just wanted to say that unequivocally, that I stand with all LGBTQ plus people. Anyway, onward, y'all.